This is form and flow part 2. I'm going to use the bow this time. So let's talk about flow for a minute. Flow is something that neuroscientists are studying now. It's the optimal cognitive or cognitive physiological or body-mind state that's found in a state of dynamic relaxation. We call it the zone. Sports athletes call it being in the zone. Comedians call it being in the pocket. Musicians call it, I don't know what they call it, but it's a state of effortless excellence or performance. And it's related to the idea of not so much using the mind in its entirety. We used to think that, this myth about we only use 10% of the brain, turns out that's a myth. And the best, we could use, if we could only use more of our brain, how powerful we would become. So what the scientists are finding out about these flow states is that it's actually using less of your brain. And we talk about brain, we're talking about the prefrontal cortex, which is decision making, which is emotions, which is memory, which is anticipation, which is cognition, which is intuition, emotion, all the states, reflection, all that's going on, all that noise that goes on throughout the day, that stream of activity. Actually, what we're doing is not using more of that, we're using much less of it. And we're using much less, we're using just what we need. The musician uses just what he needs to become one with his instrument. We talk about becoming one with. That's another one of these related ideas. Becoming one with my bow. Becoming one with my instrument. Becoming one with the mountain, a snowboarder or a skier. Becoming one with the elements. If I'm flying or hang gliding. If I'm surfing in the ocean, becoming one with the environment, with the physical energies of the earth, gravity, force, stress, movement. So what they're finding is that people can achieve these states, and it's spoken about something relatively new, but in the East they've been practicing that for thousands of years. In fact, getting into the flow and shutting down those cognitive processes, those continual unnecessary distractive cognitive processes, is awareness to stimuli, and looking for stimuli, and looking for danger, and looking for problems, and looking for what's wrong. We're instinctually made that way. In fact, we know that we're instinctually made to look for trouble in the environment, because that's how we survived. How to eat and not be eaten. That's a very important part. But to focus on right now and what I'm doing to the exclusion of all else is the core of meditation. So I like to use the breath. There's a multitude of forms of meditation. So many. The easiest one is the breath, of focusing on the breath right now, clearing the mind of everything, clarity of mind, getting into the flow of that process, training the mind to focus and isolate and eliminate everything else that's unnecessary, that's wasted energy. So that's what these athletes can do. I posted some videos about it. It's very interesting. And of course, all these things lead back to the East. So now, the video I showed you before, because I'm talking to you, I can't, there's a continuum of flow. It doesn't have to be, you're the master surfer. You don't have to be a master of anything. Being in the flow just means being in the moment completely, being present in the moment, and practicing that in daily activities as you move through life. That's practice for being in the flow. That's a meditative practice. So I can't achieve that and make a video of myself doing it. But let's see how it works with archery. Buddhism, Zen Buddhism, was practiced in Japan and China. Well, it originated in China, but the Japanese mastered the art of moving body meditation. We're calling this body meditation. Getting into the flow of archery, Bushido, any type of martial art. This life and death awareness of what I'm doing right now. And then we take that in the practice of body meditation, archery or whatever, sitting meditation, and that then inevitably extends in our every daily life, in our mundane life, our daily activities, moving and walking and talking through life. We can maintain that. And that's how it works. And that's what we want. And that's why we practice. So let's see if I can just shut up and get into it. So basically, I'm just immersed in what I'm doing. I'm not aiming. I'm just trying to be completely absorbed in my body and what's going on. And it's hard to do. It's hard to do with the camera, to reproduce that. It's almost impossible to do. So it was a little sloppy. But anyway, that's the idea of flow states. And learning to shut down. It's called hypofrontality. You're shutting down all that's going on in here. And it's usually, as we talked about before, it's usually about, most of the time, perhaps, I don't know, 90% of the time we're in the past or we're in the future. We're thinking about what we did, we're anticipating what we will do. That's the way our mind works. And that's what made us successful as humans, be able to plan and to reflect and to plan. I mean, that's great. But it's gone too far. It's out of control. And the idea is that if you live in the moment, completely absorbed in each task as it arises, the future takes care of itself, and the past is not necessary. And we have whatever we need to succeed if we can maintain that focus in our activities. But we can't do that, and in the West, it's alien to us. We're just seeking for stimulus, the next stimulus. And it goes on and on and on, never ends. The next pleasure, the next gratification. We have no idea of ascetic practices, of self-denial, of detachment from these cravings, sensual cravings, for food, for alcohol, for socialization, for stimulation. We're so addicted to that. Yeah, you're all addicted to that. Talk about addiction. That's what it is. It's seeking more, 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 and never being satisfied. So practice Simple breathing meditation, or walking meditation, or standing meditation. I'm walking now. I'm walking. Lifting my left foot up. I'm putting it down. I'm lifting my right foot up. I'm putting it down. Focusing on my body moving through space and time. Seated meditation. I'm focusing on my breath. I'm breathing a long breath in. I'm bringing a long breath out. I'm bringing a short breath in. I'm breathing a short breath out. I'm focusing on my abdominal muscle. The bellows. This works wonderful. The body, you can't stop your breath. You can ride it though and watch it. And bring your mind back to your body. Alright, that's enough for now. I'll talk to you later.